Welcome to our channel Valuable Coins All World. In this video, I gave you information about United States of America Washington quarter dollar, which are most valuable and rare. If you interested, please see this full video. Thanks. Top 1. We're going to explore the story of the 1971 Washington quarter dollar, its value, and why it could be worth a staggering amount of money. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932, designed by John Flanagan to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This coin, which has featured George Washington's profile on the obverse, front, side ever since, quickly became a staple of American currency. In 1971, the design remained consistent, but what happened that year made certain quarters from this period stand out. As with many coins, the value of the 1971 Washington quarter is not always based on its face value of 25 cents. Instead, it's driven by factors like rarity, condition, and sometimes even unique minting errors. Now, let's talk about the specific factors that make the 1971 Washington quarter dollar interesting to collectors. For most coins, it's the rarity of the coin that matters. But rarity doesn't always come from how few coins were made. It can also come from mistakes that occurred during the minting process. In the case of the 1971 quarter, certain varieties were produced that didn't match the original specifications. One of the most famous mistakes in the history of coin production is the double die error, which occurs when a coin is struck more than once during the minting process, causing parts of the design to overlap and become doubled. Coins with this kind of error tend to attract huge attention from collectors, as they are seen as unique and incredibly rare. These double die coins are sought after not just for their historical value, but for their unmistakable appearance that makes them stand out from others. Another significant factor that can increase a coin's value is its condition. The 1971 Washington quarter dollar may have been in circulation for decades, meaning most of them will show signs of wear and tear. However, coins that have been well preserved, without scratches, dings, or discoloration, are considered to be in mint condition. These coins can fetch a much higher price than a regular, worn-out quarter. The grading system for coins uses terms like good, very fine, extremely fine, and mint state to assess the condition of the coin, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Collectors also take into account the coin's mint mark. The mint mark is a small letter, usually located on the reverse side of the coin, that indicates which mint facility produced it. For the 1971 Washington quarter, you might find quarters with a D mint mark for Denver, an S mint mark for San Francisco, or no mint mark at all for Philadelphia. Certain mint marks can be more valuable depending on the rarity and condition of the coin. So, what exactly makes a 1971 Washington quarter worth so much money? It all boils down to a combination of rarity, minting errors, and condition. As we mentioned, certain varieties of the 1971 quarter, especially those with unique minting errors like the double die or other anomalies, can demand prices far above face value. A quarter that's been preserved in top-notch condition, without any signs of wear, could also increase its value significantly. If you're lucky enough to have a 1971 Washington quarter in pristine condition, especially with a minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But even without any errors, a well-preserved quarter from this year can still be worth far more than a typical 25-cent coin. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. How much is a 1971 Washington quarter really worth? While most quarters from this year will typically sell for only a few dollars, some rare versions, especially those with minting errors and in mint condition, can sell for astronomical amounts. In fact, there are documented sales of 1971 Washington quarter dollars that have fetched as much as $78,000. It's amazing how something as simple as a quarter from 1971 can hold so much value. But for the right collector, it's not just about the metal or the design. It's about owning a piece of history, a rare treasure that tells the story of America's past. If you happen to come across one of these rare coins in your collection, or even in your change jar, you might want to take a second look because you could be holding something worth a small fortune. Top 2. We're diving into the world of the 1973 Washington quarter, its history, how its value is determined, and why it could be worth significantly more than just 25 cents. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin features Washington's likeness on the obverse side. Since its release, the quarter has undergone various changes, with a few notable redesigns and alterations over the decades. However, the basic design that we know today, with Washington's profile on one side and an eagle on the reverse, has remained largely consistent in 1973. The design of the Washington quarter stayed true to the original, and the coin continued to be minted in massive quantities. But even though millions of these quarters were produced, some of them carry an additional value beyond their 25-cent face value. It's not always about how many were made, but rather the condition of the coin and, in some cases, errors made during production that can make a coin much more valuable. Let's start with the basics. The value of a typical 1973 Washington quarter. If you were to find one in your pocket change today, it would probably be worth exactly 25 cents, just like any other quarter. However, not all 1973 Washington quarters are the same. Some are in exceptional condition, while others may have flaws or damage that reduce their value. In fact, coins that have been well preserved over the years, without scratches, discoloration, or wear, are often considered more valuable by collectors. A coin's grade, or its condition, is a major determining factor in its value. Coins are graded on a scale that ranges from good to mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin is. A 1973 Washington quarter that is in mint state, meaning it shows no signs of wear and looks nearly brand new, is likely to be worth more than a quarter that has been in circulation for years and is showing visible signs of age. Another important aspect that can influence the value of a 1973 Washington quarter is the presence of any minting errors. Minting errors are mistakes that happen during the coin production process, and they can make a coin significantly more valuable. One of the most famous types of minting errors is the double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck multiple times, causing the design to appear doubled in certain areas. A double die error on a 1973 quarter would make that coin highly sought after by collectors, and as a result, it could be worth far more than its face value. Another error that can sometimes be found in coins is called a die crack, which happens when a crack forms in the die that strikes the coin. This crack can leave a distinctive mark or design on the coin that sets it apart from others. Though die cracks don't necessarily make a coin extremely rare, they can increase its value if they are significant enough. These errors are not only rare but also add a certain level of uniqueness to the coin, which is a trait that collectors are always on the lookout for. When it comes to mint marks, the 1973 Washington quarter comes in a few different variations. Some quarters were minted in Philadelphia, some in Denver, and others in San Francisco. The mint mark can often affect the value of a coin, as certain mints produced fewer coins than others in a given year. For instance, quarters with the D mint mark from Denver can sometimes be worth a bit more than those minted in Philadelphia. Additionally, any coins with a mint mark from San Francisco, which were made for proof sets, may be worth more as well. Now that we've covered the factors that contribute to the value of the 1973 Washington quarter, let's get to the big question. How much is this coin actually worth? Most 1973 Washington quarters, even those in mint condition, won't fetch a huge price. But there are exceptions to this rule, and these exceptions usually come in the form of rare minting errors or coins that have been exceptionally well preserved. A quarter that was accidentally struck with a double die or has another significant error could easily sell for thousands of dollars. For example, one of the most valuable 1973 Washington quarters ever sold fetched an incredible $73,000. That's right, $73,000. Top 3. We're going to take a deep dive into the world of the 1974 Washington quarter, what makes it special, and why it could be worth a lot more than just 25 cents. The Washington quarter has been a symbol of American currency since its debut in 1932. Designed by John Flanagan to honor George Washington's 200th birthday, the quarter quickly became a staple of American money. Over the years, while the basic design remained mostly unchanged, subtle details, minting processes, and even errors during production have led to certain years being far more valuable than others. When we look at the 1974 Washington quarter, we're staring at a coin that might seem similar to others from its era. The typical design features George Washington's profile on the obverse side and an eagle perched on a branch on the reverse. The year 1974, however, had its own unique set of circumstances that created the potential for higher value coins. For starters, let's think about the sheer volume of coins produced. In 1974, millions of Washington quarters were minted. Yet, this doesn't mean all 1974 quarters are worth the same. As with all coins, certain factors such as rarity, condition, and specific minting errors can make a particular coin stand out. The condition of the coin, in particular, plays a huge role in its value. Coins that are in near-perfect condition, meaning they show little to no wear and tear, are typically worth far more than coins that have been circulating for decades and bear the marks of time. One thing to keep in mind is that the 1974 Washington quarter was struck in copper nickel, which gives it a certain durability. However, just because the coin was made to last doesn't mean that all quarters from 1974 are in mint condition today. Many of these quarters have been in circulation for decades and show the telltale signs of age: scratches, discoloration, and general wear. These coins might only be worth their face value of 25 cents. But if you happen to find one that has been well preserved or kept in an uncirculated state, it could be worth much more. Now, let's talk about minting errors. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is finding coins with errors. These errors can make a coin much rarer and significantly more valuable. For the 1974 Washington quarter, there are a few notable minting mistakes that can increase its value. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the die, causing part of the design to appear doubled. The doubled elements of the coin make it visually distinct, and collectors are often willing to pay a premium for these rare varieties. Another error that can sometimes make a 1974 Washington quarter more valuable is the off-center strike. When a coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, it can result in a design that's shifted or off-center. These off-center coins are unique because they don't follow the usual alignment, which makes them stand out in a collection. Though not as common, off-center coins tend to attract collectors who are looking for rare and unusual pieces. The mint mark is another factor that can influence the value of the 1974 Washington quarter. If you closely examine the reverse of the coin, you'll notice a small letter, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no letter at all for Philadelphia. Each mint produced a different number of coins, and in some cases, a certain mint mark can make a coin more valuable based on its rarity or the number of coins produced there. Quarters with the S mint mark, for example, were often used for proof sets, which are specially made for collectors. As a result, coins from the San Francisco Mint can sometimes be worth more than those from the Philadelphia or Denver Mints. So, now you're probably wondering just how much a 1974 Washington quarter could be worth. While most 1974 quarters will only fetch a few dollars at most, rare coins in perfect condition or those with minting errors can see their value skyrocket. In fact, some of the rarest and most highly sought-after 1974 Washington quarters have been known to sell for a substantial sum. For instance, if you happen to stumble upon a 1974 Washington quarter that has a rare minting error, such as a double die or an off-center strike, and it's in pristine condition, you might be sitting on a small fortune. A particular 1974 Washington quarter, with just the right combination of rarity and condition, has been known to fetch as much as $70,000. Yes, that's right, $70,000. Top 4. We're going to explore why the 1983 Washington quarter dollar is so intriguing to collectors and how it might be worth far more than its face value of 25 cents. The Washington quarter dollar, a coin that has been a staple of American currency since 1932, carries with it a sense of tradition and history. Designed by John Flanagan to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday, it has featured Washington's likeness on the obverse side ever since. While the design itself has remained largely unchanged, the history behind each coin can differ significantly based on the year it was minted and the circumstances surrounding its production. In 1983, the Washington quarter continued to be minted in large quantities, just like the years before it. However, 1983 holds its own significance in the world of coin collecting. While most 1983 quarters are not worth much more than their face value, some of them, particularly those in excellent condition or with minting errors, can command far higher prices. It's not always about how many quarters were made in a given year. It's about how the coin was struck, the state of its preservation, and the presence of any unusual errors during the minting process. The most important factor when determining the value of a 1983 Washington quarter is its condition. In coin collecting, the condition of the coin is paramount. Coins are graded based on their appearance, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. The grades range from good to mint state, with coins in mint state showing little to no signs of wear. A 1983 quarter that has been kept in perfect condition, without any scratches, dings, or discoloration, is likely to be worth much more than a coin that has been heavily circulated. Another significant factor that can increase the value of a 1983 Washington quarter is the presence of minting errors. Minting errors are mistakes that occur during the production process, and these errors can make a coin far rarer and more valuable than a standard, error-free version. One of the most coveted errors among collectors is the double die error. This happens when a coin is struck more than once by the same die, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. A 1983 Washington quarter with a double die error would be considered a treasure in the world of numismatics, and it could easily fetch a premium price. Other types of minting errors can also add value to a coin. For example, some 1983 quarters might show signs of off-center strikes, where the design on the coin is misaligned. These off-center coins are unique and are often highly sought after by collectors. Additionally, coins with die cracks or other anomalies can also carry a higher value, depending on the severity and location of the error. Now, let's talk about mint marks. If you take a close look at the reverse side of a 1983 Washington quarter, you'll notice a small letter beneath the eagle, either a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or no mint mark at all for Philadelphia. Mint marks are important because they indicate where the coin was minted, and some mints produced fewer coins than others. For example, quarters minted in San Francisco, especially those created for proof sets, are often worth more than those minted in Philadelphia or Denver. The rarity of a particular mint mark can have a significant impact on the value of the coin.so. How much could a 1983 Washington quarter be worth? As with most coins, the value depends on factors like condition, rarity, and the presence of minting errors. While most 1983 quarters will only fetch a few dollars at most, there are always exceptions. A coin that is in pristine, uncirculated condition, or one that features a rare minting error can be worth much more. And now for the big reveal. If you happen to come across a 1983 Washington quarter that is in excellent condition or features a rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth far more than just 25 cents. In fact, some of the rarest 1983 Washington quarters have been known to sell for a staggering $62,000. Top 5. The Washington quarter, a staple of American currency, has been in circulation for decades. Introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday, the quarter has become an iconic symbol of the United States. The design, created by John Flanagan, has remained consistent, with Washington's profile on the front and an eagle on the reverse side. By 1996, the coin had seen many years of production, yet this particular year stands out for a few reasons. For most people, a 1996 Washington quarter would likely just be worth its face value of 25 cents, especially if it has been used in everyday transactions. However, there are factors that can change the value of a coin dramatically. In the case of the 1996 Washington quarter, the condition of the coin is crucial. If the coin has been well preserved, showing little to no wear or scratches, it can fetch a significantly higher price. Coins in perfect, uncirculated condition are much more valuable because they've been protected from the usual wear and tear that coins experience when they circulate through the economy. The grading of coins is an important factor in determining their value. Coins are graded based on their appearance, with categories ranging from good to mint state. A coin in mint state is one that shows no signs of wear and looks like it has just been struck from the mint. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Therefore, a 1996 Washington quarter in mint state condition can be worth much more than one that has been heavily circulated in addition to the condition. Another factor that can drive up the value of a 1996 Washington quarter is the presence of minting errors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production of the coin. These errors are relatively rare, and because of their scarcity, they are often highly prized by collectors. Some common types of minting errors include double die errors, off-center strikes, and die cracks. If a 1996 Washington quarter has a noticeable minting error, it could be worth far more than a regular coin of the same year. One of the most sought-after minting errors is the double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck multiple times by the same die, causing the design to appear doubled in certain areas. A double-die 1996 Washington quarter would be a rare find, and collectors would pay a premium for it. The appeal of these errors lies in their uniqueness. Having a coin with an unmistakable double image sets it apart from the thousands of other standard coins in circulation. Another type of minting error that could make a 1996 Washington quarter more valuable is the off-center strike. An off-center strike happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be misaligned or partially missing. These coins are distinctive because they deviate from the typical design and are considered rarities. If you happen to find a 1996 Washington quarter with an off-center strike, it could be worth much more than its face value. The mint mark is another key factor when it comes to determining the value of a coin. Mint marks indicate which mint facility produced the coin. For the 1996 Washington quarter, you might find coins with a D mint mark for Denver, an S mint mark for San Francisco, or no mint mark at all for Philadelphia. Some collectors specifically seek out coins from certain mints, and depending on the rarity of the mint mark, the value of the coin can change. For example, quarters minted in San Francisco are often considered more valuable, especially if they were produced as part of a proof set. Now, the question everyone is probably asking: how much could a 1996 Washington quarter actually be worth? While most 1996 quarters won't fetch much more than a couple of dollars, there are rare exceptions. A 1996 Washington quarter that has been well preserved or that features a minting error can be worth far more than you might expect. A rare example of such a coin has been known to sell for as much as $47,000. That's right, $47,000. It's amazing to think that a coin from 1996, which most people would overlook, could have such a significant value.